Hey guys, welcome back to Salem, Cellar. So I recently watched the newly released film Cobweb starring Lizzie Kaplan. I want to talk to you guys all about this movie. Now, is it worth a rental or should you wait for it to be streaming somewhere for free? I'll be right back. So Cobweb was released July 19th, 2023. It was directed by Samuel Bowden, and one of the producers is actually Seth Rogen, which I thought was pretty cool. I was dying to see this film. I could not find it playing at any theaters by me. I found out this weekend it was streaming on Amazon Prime. The rental was $6.99. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. So what this movie is about: young Peter is plagued by a mysterious, constant noise from inside his bedroom wall, a tapping that his parents insist is in his imagination. As his fear intensifies, he starts to believe that his parents are hiding a terrible and dangerous secret. This film is starring Lizzie Kaplan as Carol, Anthony Starr as Mark, Cleopatra Coleman as Miss Devine, and Woody Norman as Peter. Luke Busey is actually in this film as well. He's Gary Busey's son. So once you see him, he's the little bully in this film. Once you see him, you're going to be like, okay, that is Gary Busey's face. So what this film really involves, it starts off, you're introduced to this family. It's Lizzie Kaplan, Anthony Starr, and little Peter. Now, Peter, you see, he just seems like distressed, like something is stressing him out. At night, he looks like just a scared little boy in his bed. He hears knocking, he's knocking back. He hears a little voice in his wall. So the entire film, I'm thinking to myself, is this in his imagination? Is it really a little girl in his wall? Like, that seems really strange. The more you see the dynamic with the parents, you just get this really creepy, dark vibe. Something seems way off. Now, I just want to say Lizzie Kaplan's performance as Peter's mom, Carol, in this film was ridiculous. It was just so creepy. She was extremely intense. Something was off with her. I was definitely getting psycho vibes. You know, she just reminded me of this creepy, overly involved, something was off type of mom. The house was a little outdated, a little dingy in their backyard. If you saw the trailer, it was legit filled with like decaying pumpkins. Like, it was like a mini pumpkin patch in their backyard, but a lot of them looked rotten. This film definitely had a dark vibe to it. So you see little Peter, you know, he's not just stressed out at home, he's stressed out in school. He's getting bullied mainly by Gary Busey's son, Brian. And you can just tell something is wrong with this kid. You kind of feel sad. You feel bad for him. You're introduced to Cleopatra Coleman, who's the substitute teacher. She immediately gains an interest into this little boy. She sees like something's not right. He doesn't want to play outside during recess. He then draws this picture, and it looks like him laying in a bed in a dark room, and it says, "Help me." So obviously that looks like a cry out for help. She then in the movie goes to the house. You know, Lizzie Kaplan answers the door. She's like, "Why the hell are you at my house?" She looks very suspicious, like she's hiding something. She doesn't want anybody there. The dad, to me, played by Anthony Starr, he was weird. He was definitely weird. He did a good job being creepy. I'm thinking to myself, who is the villain in this? Who is the bad guy? Is there really like a little girl in their wall? Are the parents like causing issues? Are they abusive? Or is this little boy who's really, you know, like kind of like just having an overactive imagination, a voice in his head? So the movie was very, very suspenseful. And it wasn't, to me, predictable. Like, the first half of the film was not predictable at all. I really wasn't sure what was going on. I kept on like, maybe this is what's going on. And I was wrong. Maybe this is what's going on. Like, I just kept me guessing the entire first half of the film. I really did not know what was going on. I wasn't sure what was going to happen next. And I really did enjoy that. It was a lot of fun. Like, really creepy, really dark. The second half of the film is where they lost me. Probably the last 15 minutes of the film, not just the second half, but this film is about an hour and 28 minutes. But yes, the last 15 minutes to me completely, I don't want to say ruined the film for me, but it didn't leave me with like a great movie feeling. Kind of like, I enjoyed the whole movie up to the very end, just to be let down very hard. Very hard. I don't want to spoil too much of the ending. A lot of things I mentioned could see in the trailer, but the ending I do not want to give away. But I do want to say that the CGI at the end of the film was real wonky. Like, it was just bad. The little twist was like, okay, this is okay. This is kind of interesting, but then it's not really like explained in detail. You kind of have to guess what was actually really going on. I would have liked maybe like a little flashback, maybe like a 5-minute flashback once you find out the twist, kind of showing what led up to that. It was just really kind of like weird, hard to believe. For those of you that know the movie People Under the Stairs, kind of had that kind of feeling to me a little bit. But yeah, I just needed more. I just needed a flashback. I needed some more explanation. It kind of like just left me kind of like with a bad taste in my mouth. Then also there's some scenes of like some killing happening, and I just feel like they really didn't show it. You know, you kind of saw the aftermath of the killing, like blood splatter, people screaming, like maybe a decapitated body, but you don't really get to see the actual killing, which was disappointing. You know, I really wanted it to just be like in my face, brutal, just kind of like the actual deaths happening. So that was a little disappointing. I just really wish the ending was different. Maybe we'll get a prequel to this film. Maybe we'll get a sequel. Maybe we'll get some more information. Just the very ending also was just really hard to read. I wasn't sure if and when I say the very ending, I mean like the last 2 minutes. Like, was that actually happening? Was it in the boy's mind? It was just like, yeah, it muddied up the whole movie for me. That I really enjoyed this movie. I'm like, wow, this is a really good movie. The acting was great. It just gave off this feeling where I'm just like, oh, I just feel like so tense and so invested. And then it punched me right in my face. like, no, bitch, you're not getting a good ending. You're just getting this like half-ass, bad CGI, no explanation type of ending. It was just hard to believe and weird. To me, it kind of felt like a spooky fairy tale, which I did like, but just a little bit more. Just give me a little bit more. I'm really hoping this movie does well, actually. So maybe we can get a prequel so we can find out really what went on, or a sequel where it dives into like the past a little bit and lets us know what's going on, with the characters that survived. So Cobweb is based off a short story by Edgar Allan Poe called The Telltale Heart. Now it makes me really want to read that short story. Now overall, the film I did enjoy. It was, again, up to the last 15 minutes kind of threw me off. Rating this film out of a 10, I would give it a 6.5. I feel like it's kind of low for the rest of the film being so good, but that the ending was really, it needed to tie everything together, and it didn't. It was great if most of the movie is terrific, but if you have a horrible ending with a twist that's not really explained, then it's kind of just like flattens out the rest of the film and makes me not want to watch it again as much. Is it worth the rental? I do think it's worth the rental. Just know that you're not going to get the ending that you want. Unless you enjoy the ending, which most people that I've been talking to about this film feel exactly the way I do. The last 15 minutes were very blah. Right now it's available on Vudu, Apple TV. You can get an Amazon Prime. You can actually rent it for $6.99 or purchase it. I think the purchase was, I think it was like $14.99, but YouTube is available for rental. So definitely check it out. I do recommend it. I do think it's worth the rental for $6.99. It's not like you're going to the movie theaters and paying $30 for 2 tickets, you know, it's $6.99. So would I rent it again? I would rent it again. The acting was good. The story was good. It could have been really fantastic. It was a little flat because of that ending, but overall it was not a bad movie. Comment down below. Let me know if you've seen the movie, if you felt like how I did, or if you know you actually really enjoyed the ending. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be right back.